Hello and welcome to episode 82 of No Load Time. My name is Jovet Velez and with me is our resident cast member hunter, Mr. Joel Young.
I love that Obed pulls these great inside jokes and he knows why I'm cracking up when he says these things. And man, we got stories, bro. So we got stories, but we've got great topics to talk about on today's episode, guys.
Man, talk about a segue. That's a hard left on that one, man.
Swipe.
Yeah, we were swiping over there. Whew, man, touched the nerve.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. How you doing, bro?
Bro, I'm doing great, man. How are you doing?
Doing all right. A little bit in pain. This back's been bothering me for the last couple of days, but
I know, man.
But you gotta do what you gotta do.
That's true. It's true.
Gotta hashtag deal with it.
Not being a man, baby?
No, absolutely not.
No, I know that.
Take some pain meds and go to work. High on painkillers.
So funny, man.
Not an excuse, but sure. Yeah, sometimes you gotta roll with it, But today I'm not super in pain. But yesterday I wasn't having too much fun. But yeah, doing all right.
That's good. It's good, man. Well, I mean, I know since our last episode, a little TV show dropped, so that's what I've been watching since we last spoke, man. Umbrella Academy came out on Netflix, and a lot of people were quickly running to watch this. I think I had to do a little bit of, the obscurity of it, the interest factor. It was marketed pretty decently, I think. Word of mouth really got a lot of high praise. For me personally, I'm not crazy familiar. I'm not going to pretend to be very much familiar with this property. I know that it's by Dark Horse Comics, and it's I guess a part of this new Netflix deal that they're going to put out some other Dark Horse characters potentially on Netflix. So this is probably the first one to really drop and see how people respond. The Umbrella Academy, I think each of the casts are fine for the roles. I just think it's not hard to follow, which is a good thing. But usually Netflix is a very strong, suspenseful, something that makes you have to watch each episode. Some underlying questions that you wait to be revealed. That's the big secret ingredient to Netflix, right? And I think with what they're doing here, there's enough to make you interested, but I don't think it's as powerful as maybe I would have liked it to be. So I'm still enjoying it. I think it's a good series. I think I think a lot of people will enjoy it for what it is. But very quickly, it's not going to be a show necessarily that you may want to rewatch. Where there some of the other shows you're watching, talking about Daredevil and stuff like that. I would go back and watch that today and have a great time. So it's a step in the right direction. I'm just curious to see how far this thing goes. I think there's already talks of a renewal for season 2. So good for them, of course. Good to get these indie comics getting recognized. Dark Horse is one of the ones up there competing against the alphas of DC and Marvel when it comes to their characters. But it's good to get the recognition with Umbrella Academy. So far, what I've seen, it's pretty good. It's just not. I'm not gonna hype it up and say it's the greatest thing either.
Cool. Well, all right. Yeah, I heard good things about it. I mean, I talked to a couple people that says oh yeah, this thing on Netflix, but nothing super crazy. Yeah, I'm glad to see that some other, obscure comic book properties are getting their dues out there, and that's good. I mean, not a lot of people in the mainstream, right? Because it's all Marvel, DC, know about Dark Horse, but Dark Horse has a pretty robust library, if you ask me.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But yeah, I haven't heard from anything from Dark Horse in a long time. What was that? Was that Dark Horse? Do you remember, man? And I cannot remember the name of this team. Wildcats. Are they still around?
I believe there are still some Wildcats that still exist. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, that's a deep cut for some people.
Yeah, man. Getting sweaty on here.
No, yeah, because we were talking about comics today. It's how we're just talking about how long I've been out of the comic book game. It's been a while. It's like I've been out of that world for a long time, right? But I mean, I do remember like Wildcats and Rip Claw and all these other guys. And I have a friend of mine, very good, very 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 good friend of mine, that was a big Wildcats and Rip Claw fan and whatnot. What was the other one? Pit, was it?
Yep.
Yeah. See,
you know what you're talking about.
I know what I'm talking about.
Very good.
Yeah. But it's I'm super rusty. Like I go like yeah. You can hear my joints rusted in the comic book area right now. But yeah, cool. I mean, it's nice to see that Netflix is looking to give these guys an opportunity and put their stuff out there. I mean, Joel, do you think that this could be a reason why the Marvel deal thing cancellations happen? Because they're maybe looking into getting some other properties that maybe doesn't cost them as much as keeping the Marvel ones?
Absolutely. I think, like you're saying, money played a factor in all of that. And that's been what a lot of the leaks coming out of this whole Marvel Netflix situation is that, they just didn't want to keep spending for these productions and the rights of these characters and whatever. And Dark Horse these characters do not have nearly the exposure that Marvel does. They don't have to demand, as much as pay. So they still got comic book properties with rich history they don't have to pull something out and create something new. They're making an original based off of adapted source material. There's an audience out there that have been asking for this, so it's smart. And not only they're doing it, they're getting talent behind it. Obviously people are fans of Ellen Page and etc. So it's like they're doing what they can, like you're saying, Obed, to survive life after Marvel, and Dark Horse properties are probably going to be it.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that they'll find some other comic book properties that they can bring that doesn't cost them as much money as keeping a Marvel license and having to deal with Marvel QA and
oh my goodness,
and all this stuff. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, because I'm sure that just Marvel QA cost them a lot of money, just on quality control and whatnot. So
yeah.
It's gonna be interesting to see where Netflix and they're dropping the van hammer out there. They're canceling left and right, dude. It's crazy.
It's wild.
Maybe what, this could be seen as a negative, but maybe in my opinion, they're just adapting and they're probably preparing to get the real big fight against Disney when they come out. Because again, Disney's in it to win it on everything they do. So that they're gonna release this service, and it's probably gonna be very very good, and it's probably gonna come out, and it's gonna be like Captain Marvel day one or something.
Yeah. I mean, we're gonna talk about the Oscars in a second, but Kevin Feige did comment on Disney Plus out there, and he was talking about how every single one of their Marvel properties that are shown are going to be directly, strongly connected to the MCU. So they're going to put some major production value into whatever they put on that Disney Plus service. It's going to be hit the ground running. And then on top of that, like you're saying, movies like Captain Marvel, that's probably going to have a lot of people saying, oh my goodness, it's not on Netflix, these movies anymore. I got to get Disney Plus. They're just going to have a great library from, things that they put out on the big screen and originals on the small screen.
Yeah, if the price is right, like I've said before, and I know that most likely will be, I definitely see them succeeding. So yeah, cool. I really don't have anything new to say unless you want another Kingdom Hearts update.
Yeah, give us a little Kingdom Hearts.
All right. Yeah, they spend their money on that Pirates of the Caribbean world. I don't know if I mentioned that before.
You did. Yeah, a lot of money.
They did spend their money on that world, quite a bit. But to my surprise, I got to what seems to be the last of the Disney World. I got to to San Francisco, basically, from Big Hero 6. And again, they spend some money because it's like a mini GTA because you have the city, right? And you can move around the city. It's pretty closed off, so it's not a really, really big area. but there is plenty to explore there. I mean, there's a lot to explore in the Pirates world, but it's, you know, more of the ship exploration, and you get off at different islands and you explore things around. But yeah, I'm still having tons of fun with that game. It got pretty challenging in some parts, but again, that game does a really good job at giving you the right tools that you need to get through basically whatever the game throws at you. And again, this is on the default difficulty. I didn't go easy or I didn't put it on proud mode. I think I should have started on proud, just to be honest with you. But we'll see. Maybe I'll do another run through on proud. But yeah, I'm still a lot of fun. On that, man, Zelda on the Switch. Yeah, I mean, like I mentioned, like I said on the last podcast, I can definitely see where a lot of people are going. It's like, oh, this is the best game ever. I was like, I don't think it's the best game ever. It's if it's, it's definitely, like, without a question, dude. It's great. Like, there's no question around it. It's a fantastic game. Is it the best ever? Not in my opinion, right? It does do a lot of things, but so far, like, I can, like, right off the bat, I can tell you that, like, Horizon Zero Dawn is a better game. But that's just my opinion. Sure. I'm not cashing the PlayStation checks over here. Nintendo's near and dear to my heart. But, when you look at it as a whole, in my opinion, Horizon Zero Dawn is a better game. But again, I'm just 4 hours in, so I mean, the game's 100 hours long, so we'll see. Still looking for a grip to use on the portable mode. I know that our friend Noah sent us a suggestion, but no, I already got a Pro Controller, so we're good. We're good. Thanks, man. I know, I appreciate it. Still, I've been looking around. I was gonna grab one that's official, like the official grip over at Target, and I heard that one was not as great. It's not, like, it feels flimsy or something like that. So I'm gonna watch a couple of reviews. But I did see that Best Buy has one that it's not available in stores right now, but they do have it on the website, and I saw a review for it, and I may just end up getting that one. I looked at that other one, that Satisfy one. It's expensive. It's like $23, and then it's like $11 shipping because it ships from Hong Kong. It's a Asian company that's doing it. So I just don't want to go through the hassle of dealing with an international company, especially for a product like that I may or may not like, and then not be able to return it or something like that. So
yeah,
I'd rather just deal with Best Buy or Target. It's like, hey, I don't like this. Here you go. Give me my money back. So I'd rather deal with that. But we'll see. I may just grab one of these grips pretty soon, because I really enjoyed using it on portable mode. I mean, I would love to use it on my TV all the time, but the voice and all this other stuff that's going on right now, and my wife takes my TV away. So I gotta use it on portable mode. So.
This is where I put the plug in. #bachelor life. But to your point though, like, you shouldn't feel like the only way to have a good experience is if it's on your TV. It was made to be a console that you use portable, and
it works great.
And it works great. So if there's ways around it, like you're saying about getting these grips, so hopefully you're able to get something soon and continue to enjoy it that way.
Yeah. I'm still liking it quite a bit.
I mean, you could always play it, mind you. You can always play it with the kickstand up and use the Joy-Con.
That kickstand sucks.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
That kickstand is not. That's the only thing I don't like about the device so far.
The kickstand.
That kickstand's. It's ass. I don't like
well, it. There might even be a solution for that too.
There is. Hori makes it. Yeah, Hori makes a stand. Power makes a stand. So there are different stands out there.
That might be even cheaper than getting the grips. I don't know. I'm just saying.
Yeah. I mean, still.
The Pro Controller's great.
I would have to, like, pull a table and
come on.
Come on, Joe.
Man.
I mean, I got plenty of tables around this place, but I don't want to just have to pull pull a table, set it. I'd rather just have it in my hands.
No, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, especially if you're traveling and all that. Yeah, I totally understand. I'm just messing with you.
No, I know, for sure.
But thank you, Noah, for sending in the feedback, guys. And that's another thing, guys. If you ever hear us talking about the stuff, you got some feedback, feel free to send an email to us. noloadtime@gmail.com.
There you go. Jill, do you want to go ahead and do the Oscars rundown?
Yeah, man. So the Oscars happened this weekend, and Wakanda Forever. So Wakanda Forever, yeah. Ob and I were closely tracking this just because, for a long time, we've never seen comic book movies be recognized outside of the typical visual effects or like sound editing space. And I mean, I'm not saying it hasn't happened. Obviously, Heath Ledger, different people getting awards. So I'm not saying that, but it's just an uncommon space for superhero genre films to be recognized outside of those two categories. So with this weekend, Black Panther was nominated in several categories. They are lucky enough to have walked away with 3 different awards. First one being costume design. They won best costume design, and that just makes perfect sense. If you watch Black Panther, you understand that these people don't look like they're wearing kooky half-made costumes. No, the design quality on these costumes is very strong. You can feel the cultural relevance. That it doesn't look like this spandex superhero costume. Like everybody looks just right in their parts, and their costumes are on point. So
yeah, even down to even down to the materials and the colors they chose, it was spot on. It was really
spot on. It was definitely, I could see why it's the best costumes out of all the movies, because they just did such a great, fantastic job. And so that was awesome. And then the second thing that they got an award for is best production design. This also makes perfect sense. You
actually mentioned this one before the movie came out.
Yes, I did. And it's just because the people involved in making this, they've worked on some other great projects before, and building the world of Wakanda is not an easy thing to do. Everyone just thinks of, okay, yeah, they use green screen and all this stuff, but if you really watch any of the behind the scenes feature, you see the immense amount of work that went into the props, that went into the location scouting, that you may not have realized the first time watching it, but if you rewatch some of the behind the scenes of the creation of this film, you understand there's a lot of work that went into it. So the world of Wakanda was built, a world that we had never seen before on the big screen. It's easy to make an Avengers movie in New York because we know what New York looks like. The world didn't know what Wakanda looked like, and it could have looked like a joke, and it didn't. It worked. So perfect, again, example of why it makes sense. I'm not trying to defend each of these things winning, but I feel like there were some people out there that didn't understand this one, and to me, it just makes sense.
Yeah.
Last one for Black Panther was Best Original Score. And at first I was, of course I'm extremely happy, but at first I was a little taken back. I was like, oh wow, like they really like the score that much. But then as I really listened, I went back and was re-listening to that main score, and I'm like, you know what, that really plays so well throughout the film, that score. Emotionally has a very strong impact. Spoiler alert, cover your ears for the next 15 seconds if you haven't watched the movie, but when T'Challa...
It's on Netflix.
It's on Netflix. When T'Challa comes back, and for the first time the Killmonger sees him since throwing him off the cliff, and he says, "I never yielded," and you hear the score playing in the background with those drum beats or whatever, and the usage of it, underlying theme from the beginning when you first enter Wakanda to the very end, the last battle, that score, I could see why again it won. So I was happy with that.
Yeah, I think the OST for this movie is hands down the most memorable Marvel soundtrack, because Marvel has had this issue where it just sounds like generic superhero fanfare on most cases, right?
It's true. No, it's true.
And like I couldn't tell you and I know that Danny Elfman did the soundtrack for Justice League, but I couldn't it doesn't it doesn't stick with you. Like, say for example, the Hans Zimmer soundtracks for Man of Steel and the Nolan Dark Knight trilogy and Batman vs Superman. Like, there's some really good pieces in that movie, but like Marvel and even the Danny Elfman Batman from the Michael Keaton Batman's was like fantastic, right?
Yeah, oh yeah.
But then, like all the Marvel movies, with the exception of the Avenger movies, because they have the specific Avengers theme, it's been sort of like this generic fanfare, which and it's not that it's bad because it fits the properties, but at the same time, it's just that it doesn't stand out.
Oh yeah.
So, but this one did. Like, this one was. There's some really great uses of percussion on this soundtrack that are just. It was just really good. So yeah, I can see this.
Absolutely, it's a good jam, guys. It's a good jam. So now switching gears into the to me that was the biggest Marvel property, not Disney, but Marvel property that you've got to be extremely proud of and really hold up as we're fans of this this material is Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse winning Best Animated Film. Obed, I jumped straight on a Facebook Live after watching an early screening of this movie, and I said to you guys on Facebook Live that if this doesn't get recognized, at the time we didn't know it would be nominated for anything. I said, this doesn't get recognized, it's literally a crime, it's thievery. And not only does the thing get recognized, it wins Best Animated Film. This is extremely well deserving. If you sit there and watch this and go, this movie's fine, I'll question you creatively, just because the risks that they took in this movie and the way it just pays off, the quality of the animation, the quality of the voice talent, the quality of the art design, all around, you can see where people didn't just phone in checks. These people really went out and wanted to make a special movie, and it is one to remember for the rest of my time. As a Spider-Man fan, I couldn't be more proud. This is a day one purchase for me. That was something that I already knew before this, but if anyone was out there who didn't see this movie, and I think there's a lot of people who didn't get the chance to see it, and there's a lot of movies that came out around Christmas, and there's a lot of movies that are continuing to come out, of course, on Blu-ray. When this movie does come out, I highly recommend it for you guys. Check it out, watch it, rent it, stream it, own it. It's a great movie. It's a great Spider-Man movie. Even though it's animated, it's up there as one of the best Spider-Man movies ever.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to whenever that one comes out on Blu-ray. I think it comes out. They announced it. It's like March 20th, I think, something like that.
Yeah,
I can't remember. So I'll be definitely getting that one. I did just going back. I did get Wreck-It Ralph on 4K. Came out this week, so I was able to grab a copy on 4K. So that was one of the contenders. And based on what someone told us today, it was the best animated picture of last year. So we'll see. Actually, it's funny because I saw a post on Reddit where there was a store employee asking what should we do with these, and it was badges for the Wreck-It Ralph stand-ins saying best animated picture. So how they prep, there's probably like Atlanta Falcons Super Bowl champions at shirts in Africa or something right now. So sort of like that. So it was pretty funny. So and it's marketing prep that companies do, so whatever. But it was interesting that looked like Disney was very confident that Wreck-It Ralph was going to get it, but
and usually Disney does win in that part, which is why I didn't even think, to be honest with you, I never thought this would happen to this extent. I was just happy with the nomination because Disney does typically win.
Yeah, it's the first time since 2003 that Disney has not won Best Animated Picture.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
and again, it makes sense. I mean, I know we think this is a conversation to be revisited at some point in the future, but I want you to really think in your mind after you watch Wreck-It Ralph 2 and after you watch Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, which movie will be more remembered. And I think that's
yeah,
where you got to stand when you're talking about great cinema. You know, there's a lot of movies out there people say this is a great movie, and we forget about it 10 years, 15 years down the line. We're like, oh, yeah, I remember that one. I think this is one of those movies to remember just for what it accomplished. So,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I'll definitely check it out when it comes out. So yeah, good stuff, man. Yeah, it's good to see that they got the both movies got the recognition that they deserved. Of course, we all knew that it was a long shot that Black Panther was gonna
Oh,
win Best
yeah.
Film because the Academy is like it's enough. We gave you some stuff. You can't. You're still a superhero movie, so you can't have it. So yeah, well, one of those, but we'll see. But moving on, Joe, Captain Marvel's coming out pretty soon here in a little over a week, and Rotten Tomatoes just announced a change to their policy, and it's due to our friendly DC trolls. So yeah, Joe, what's up with that, man?
Yeah, man. So this is not the first time this has happened. I think the headlines have been a little misleading. Some people are reading this stuff on Twitter and Facebook, and they just see the headline that, oh, Captain Marvel's in trouble, bad reviews. Guys, let's put this in context. There are people out there, just like Obed saying, that genuinely are trolls. These are people living in their mother's basement that all they want to do is talk bad about something that they've never seen before just because of their own personal obscure, strange beliefs that have no basis. So these are people who did the same thing to Black Panther, and now they're doing it again with Captain Marvel. They created fake accounts saying that they've already watched Black Panther as audience members and then go on Rotten Tomatoes and say this is a horrible movie and then give the movie a very low score, trying to lower the Rotten Tomatoes score on specifically the audience Rotten Tomatoes score, so that way people will be discouraged from watching this movie. Like, as if people are just sitting at Rotten Tomatoes and they're like, I'm gonna buy a ticket. Rotten Tomatoes is not higher than 50%, right? Because that totally worked on several movies. But we're not gonna go into that. But what I am saying is that it has been done before. They did the same thing, like I was saying, with Black Panther. Obviously, Black Panther, we just talked about, got nominated for Best Picture, so I think they did just fine. But, with Captain Marvel coming out, the critic reviews have yet to drop. Most of them have seen the movie. We talked about the early responses last episode, if I'm not mistaken. And the responses, the Twitter early reviews that they could put out there was quite positive for the most part. So curious to see when the actual critic numbers drop. If it's 80% or more, which is what we would expect, then this movie is probably really solid. And we at this point that's the indication. But Rotten Tomatoes made the effort to actually stop now these early audience scores completely on their site. And people took that as saying that they did that in reaction to Captain Marvel. I believe that they did. Their president today came out saying, of Rotten Tomatoes, came out and saying that no, they did not do this to protect Captain Marvel. But I don't think by no means are they trying to protect the movie. I think they're trying to protect the authenticity of their site, and that's just to not have people come up with fake propaganda for their own, strange reasons. So yeah, I think people need to take a chill pill. The movie's fine. I'm glad that Rotten Tomatoes said not on our site, shut it down. You're still gonna get your critic reviews, which is the people that I'm glad they have a voice on there, and of course we want audiences to also have a voice on the platform, but there has to be a way of filtering it. I'm glad Rotten Tomatoes is doing that.
Yeah, I mean it was a problem, especially with, like you mentioned, with Black Panther, when there were people posting fake reviews saying that they watched the movie and the movie was awful, and then reviews come out, like real reviews come out, and then everyone's blown away. I was like, you're the obvious troll, right? It's like being like a oh, man, I hate it when there's like all good reviews and then there's like the one bad review, and because you know that there's that person, most likely has some sort of agenda or something, because it's like how much different of an outlook can you have when you disagree against all these other people,
Or when a movie's really bad and there's like that one good review where they're like, "Oh, I love this person." You're like, "What did you watch?"
Yeah, it's like I laughed at one scene. It's like it was okay, 8 out of 10. Yeah. So, I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm glad that Rotten Tomatoes have finally done this, and I said DC trolls because we knew people that people that like dramas are not gonna go into Black Panther's Rotten Tomatoes page and post a fake review because what they care, right? They're into the whole frou Oscar bait movie, so they don't care. But when the guys that care are comic book superhero nerds like you and me. And just because it's like, so Joel, so for example, right?
Mm-hmm.
Take this, right? What if I, being a PlayStation guy, go to say a Metacritic for an Xbox game and just give it a 0? Just, oh no, this game sucks, it's terrible. Look at this graphics. And what if I would have done that for Crackdown 3, right? That would not be fair.
No,
because one, I never played the game. Two, I have no intentions of playing the game. 3, I really don't care. So you can just watch the movie, right, and give your personal opinion on it, right? It's fine. It's like if you go to the movie and you didn't like it, it's like, oh, that's fine. That's whatever, right? I've seen movies that like Last Jedi, again, a very polarizing movie where reviews very well and people are like, whoa, what the heck is this? I don't get it. But then at the same time, there's fans like you and me that get the movie and like the movie, while there's other fans that are like, oh no, it's terrible, the worst Star Wars movie ever, 0 out of 10. This is worse than friggin' Human Centipede, and so it's ridiculous. So I can see, and I appreciate Rotten Tomatoes doing this change. I wish sites like Metacritic would do this too. Like you can see those 0 reviews. So it's like, I mean, for me to give like a movie or a 0, I would have to either walk out of the movie or the movie never started. And it's like, I didn't get to see the movie, so 0 out of 10. Same thing with like giving a score of 0 to a game. So it's. Yeah, I mean, something needed to be done, and appreciate what they're doing. Again, aggregate sites they're not great indicators of what products truly are. At the end of the day, just go see it, and it's your personal opinion if you're like it or not, and that's what matters, right?
Yeah, no, that's absolutely what matters, and I'm glad you said that. But hopefully, other sites you're saying take notice. Maybe this is something that will cause some changes. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see where that goes. Joel, we got all the Pokemons, and yeah. So Detective Pikachu, we got a new trailer for that, and that looks pretty good. It looks pretty good. This looked a little more finished versus that first trailer that we had about how long was it, a month ago?
Yeah, it was not long ago.
Yeah. So this looked way better than that. More finished. There's a lot of more special effects. This movie, it looks like it's very well written. It's crazy. Like it looks like based on the trailer, right? I can't judge it because I haven't watched the movie, of course. But based on the trailer, it looks like this thing's gonna be very well written and really funny. So, yeah, what do you think of that trailer, man?
Yeah, I think Ryan Reynolds really stands out, and I love it. Like, I love that he's doing this voice talent role and still contributing in a comedic way, and you don't have to actually see him. You just hear his voice, and yeah, I think they've got themselves something that a lot of nostalgic fans will be happy with. But yeah, I mean, like you're saying, it's probably has a good story for people like Ryan Reynolds to have signed on to participate There's probably some very good elements that really sold them on the participation aspect of it. So, I'm curious to see how it performs. But yeah, it all looks well on this side.
Yeah. So, this movie, one of the writers is Nicole Perlman, who wrote the original draft for Guardians of the Galaxy
That's right.
and Captain Marvel. So
That's right. Yeah.
so there you go. So that's like the writing on the movie really stood out on the trailer to me this time. So yeah, that's probably what it's from. And I'm on board. Like, this looks really interesting, and it's probably gonna be really silly, but
yeah.
it looks like it's fun, right? And again, this is why we go to the movies, just to have fun. It's like, I don't want to see dogs dying and people ODing on screen and all this crap. Just have fun. Um,
So true.
Hey, it's my opinion. Again, it's like,
No, but you're saying how you feel. You're not saying we.
yeah.
You're saying I don't want to see that.
Exactly.
And I think there's
Yeah.
a lot of people out there to that fact, which is why you see certain films do financially well, is because some of those movies are just escape movies. Like, that's just genuinely that escape from the real world. Other people, they want to go home and watch 2020 and Dateline, and that's fine. I mean, if that's what you want to watch, these real life depictions and stuff, sure. But like you said, as for me, I just want to escape. So that's what I think Pikachu, this Pokemon movie is gonna be. It's gonna be escape for some people and think
It's gonna be great. There's gonna be
silly stuff.
Like, parents are gonna take their kids to see the movie, and there's gonna be those bunch of smelly dudes in there. It's gonna be awesome.
Nerds, sweaty
It's
nerds.
Dude, it's gonna be so great. Parents are gonna be like, "What the heck is this?" It's like a bunch of dudes like yelling, "Yeah, Pokemon!" Yeah. It's gonna be pretty.
Probably do very well internationally as well.
Oh yeah, I think this movie is gonna do really well overseas. Yeah. Joe, I totally forgot that there's the Sonic the Hedgehog movie coming out this year too.
Don't
November.
even. I don't even want to remember.
Weird proportions in the sneakers. I'm curious to see a trailer on that though, because that's supposed to have like there's someone in the writing that's involved in this movie that's supposed to be really good. But again, we'll see. But yeah, man, tons of stuff coming out this year. It's incredible. Like, this year we have like every month starting just this month already, because it started already. There's like movies up until the end of the year. Every single month there's one or two movies that I was like, yo, I gotta go see this. So man, it's nuts. Yeah, and in addition to that, Joel, this morning we had a Nintendo Direct announcing the brand new Pokemon games that are coming for the Switch, and this is the fully fledged Pokemon RPG games. Of course, the Switch now being a portable, a hybrid console, can really take advantage of a game like this. Joel, this is gonna sell like a gazillion copies. The Switch is gonna outsell the Xbox One sometime this year. Like is gonna surpass it. That's my prediction. It's gonna happen within the next few months. But yeah, Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield are coming out to the Switch. No specific dates yet. They're saying late 2019, depending on how Nintendo does with their exclusive this year. If Yoshi reviews well, and if some of the other games do well, they may push this to early 2020 game. It would be beneficial for them to release this game next year because of all the next gen hype that's going on right now. So I think for them to hold off to this game until next year may be wise. But we'll see. We're in a post Reggie era, so we don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Post Reggie, we'll see at this point, because he had a pretty strong, consistent formula. I don't think they'll derive from it too far, but yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, and it looks good. Like, it looks really crisp. The character models look real nice. Yeah, I mean, this thing's gonna sell so much. It's ridiculous because people have been Like, especially Pokemon fans have been asking for a console version of Pokemon for since the GameCube. So when Pokemon's Stadium was gonna come out for the N64, people thought that that was gonna be like their full fledged Pokemon game, and it wasn't. And now that now 20 almost 20 years later, you actually finally get your fully fledged Pokemon game on a Nintendo console, and it looks great. I mean, Nintendo Pokemon games are always fun. We'll see how this one does, but yeah, I mean, it's coming. It's gonna
It's
happen.
coming.
And they also said that this will not be the only Pokemon property that's gonna be released this year. That there's more stuff coming out, so we'll see. Joel, speaking of again the Switch, and we just talked about Xbox real quick. There's a pretty significant article over at Game Informer that came out, was actually posted while we were recording last week. Um, it's saying that there's a very, very good chance that Xbox Game Pass will come to the Switch. I don't know to what extent. Of course, Microsoft is working on that streaming platform. Um, this is something that they may take advantage of. The Switch already is streaming games in Japan. They're not doing it here yet because of infrastructure issues. But over in Japan, Resident Evil 7 is on Switch streaming, and Assassin's Creed Odyssey as well. So I can see Microsoft taking advantage of that streaming tech that they're working on and putting it on the Switch, and also taking some of those other Xbox games that are not very graphically demanding, like Cuphead and Ori and the Blind Forest, and putting it on the Switch. This is huge news. I know that there was a follow up article the next day saying that this same feature that that they're going to implement on the Switch will also be implemented on PlayStation platforms. So it's crazy that Microsoft is looking to do this, right? I don't think, again, this is going to be like fully fleshed Xbox Game Pass. This is going to be a light version of it. They're probably not just not going to give you all the games, right? They're probably just going to give you a sample or a taste. I can see maybe a Gears of War here and there, but nothing too crazy. Because again, there's very strong rumors that Microsoft is going to unveil their two new consoles at E3.
Right.
I don't know if you saw those specs that got out there, Joel.
I did not.
You did not? Okay. So just real quick, the base console, it's very close to a PS4 Pro in specs. It has a little bit. It has 4 gigs more of RAM. It has 12 gigs instead of 8. But it's the performance is very similar to a PS4 Pro. Of course, with a better CPU, because the CPU then was enhanced. And the other version is basically like a 12 teraflop, huge version of a console, which is 12 teraflops is what we heard for the PS5 back maybe in December. So yeah, it makes sense that those consoles are going to have some parity. But man, what do you think of this? I mean, would you invest that? How much? $15 a month, or how much the Xbox Game Pass costs to have it on the Switch, Joe?
I don't think I would do it right away, but it definitely is something I like to have as an option. Like there's I don't think there's any properties that right off the bat's gonna make me like really want to get it. However, you start talking about things like maybe potential for crossplay and some other conversations that come about as we see also, like you're saying, with the evolution of next gen for Microsoft. How does this affect it? I think that's where I stand more, is I need to get more information on it before I say yes. But just on the general basis of what it sounds like they're trying to do, I'm all for it. I think this is a great way of expanding the Microsoft brand. People, let's just face it, we've talked about the financial number. People are not buying their consoles It's not selling the way it should be. Their competitors are consistently seeing year to year, month to month growth. So you've got to do something to get yourself now exposed in front of these people on these other platforms. How a better way to do it than to provide one of your services, even in a limited capacity, on one of your competitors' devices. So I think it makes sense. I think it's a good strategy. I'm not saying, though, that it's enough for me just to say, okay, they're doing this thing, I'll buy it. I'm sure when they have a formal announcement and I get more information on it, then I could get a better decision. But it might be, I think it can be very beneficial for them. I think this is a good idea.
Yeah, the way I see it is this. It's like Office on a Mac, right? Because
Yeah.
you can buy Office for a Mac and install Office and run Office 365, and it's a fully fledged Office and everything, right? So I see it's the same way. Microsoft, of course, they have their their platform with their software, but they also provide some sort of software support and software options for other platforms. So that's the way I see it. It's basically just Office on a Mac. Um, you know, at this point, again, they're taking the hard L on this one. On the Xbox One, like I said, the Switch is probably going to outsell them by the end of the year, and they're not gonna make of course they're not gonna get to PS4 numbers. PS4 is probably gonna hit 100 million by the end of this year, unless I think the right move for PlayStation is not talking about new consoles up until like either late this year or early next year. I would, if I was PlayStation, I would do like a PlayStation experience in December, like after Black Friday, because people already bought their crap for Black Friday, and then talk new stuff.
Which is why I think they skipped E3. I mean, just to
Exactly.
go back to that, I don't think it's because they're skipping because they're going to have their own event to make an announcement. I think it's because they just don't have anything that they want to rush to show because they're putting full-fledged efforts on the development of next gen.
Yeah,
And so that's
yeah,
fine.
and what Sean Layden said to CNET was the same thing. It's like, I mean, we don't have anything new to show yet, so why
Right.
just spend millions of dollars just putting up this show and show nothing? And they're doing their own separate event for retailers so they can go see what they have for the rest of the year, and whatnot. And then when they're ready, they'll reveal. Microsoft is the one that needs to put that foot out front, because they're the ones that need to do the comeback
For
for
sure.
next console. So yeah, I mean, they're poised to do very well. Again, it all comes down to the games. So you're gonna have the best hardware, which arguably Microsoft has right now. But if you don't have the games to back it up, it's not gonna do anything. Um, and just segueing right in, Joe, another patent for backwards compatibility got out there for suppose the what we're calling the PS5, right? And not much to say here. I mean, it's just another patent that got out, and this one was in English, so this one shows how you know data travels from basically to a software and a hardware side, and how it communicates, and how the hardware responds to the software's needs, and how it'll basically emulate new games. They're calling it remastering. Oh, they're using a name for it. Or it sounds like a buzzword. It's I don't want to go really big into it, but
Yeah.
it's like remastering. It's like remastering through emulation or remastering through software. So that in essence, to me, that means that I can grab my disc of uh, Metal Gear Rising Revengeance and put it on a PS5, and that would convert it to whatever 1080p 4K signal, and at 60 frames a second. So that's what it means to me, right? I could be wrong. In a perfect world,
Sure.
that would be ideal.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Yeah, I'm dying to play that game again, man, because that game's really good. But then I think about using a DualShock 3, and I get really sad because because I have big hands and that's like a tiny little baby controller, and I can't deal with it, man. But yeah, you know, we'll see. Again, this is something that Xbox is doing very well right now, but at the same time, they are they I don't know why they have to work with publishers to do this sort of backwards compatibility solution that they're using. So there has to be something to do with either licensing or the Xbox is downloading something, or sorry, I hit my mic again. The Xbox has to be doing something, and the publisher needs to be involved. Versus on the PlayStation solution, sounds like you grab the disc, you put it on the system, and it starts working. I mean, if it's as good as it sounds, it's fantastic, right? If it's going, I don't know. I'm not too sure if it's going to move consoles, right? This is a feature, right? It's great to have. At the end of the day, like I said, what matters is what games you got in there. But Joel, yeah, I mean, what do you think? It's a good thing, right?
It's a very good thing, and like you said, it's not necessarily that it's gonna move more consoles, but at the same time, it's definitely gonna be when you're looking at how do you stay ahead and not let your competitor somehow sneak up on you with any kind of upper hand. These are little things like this that do make a difference in trying to get people who are existing PlayStation owners to continue to be PlayStation owners, keeping those great experiences that they had on prior consoles and telling you you can have those experiences and play them again. There's a lot of people who love to play old games, man. There's a lot of people that are still playing certain games, online that I'm shocked. I'm like, wait, there's still people online for this? So, I mean, I'm not saying that in this regards, but I'm just saying, like, with this, it's just another way of keeping people excited to buy one of these early on. But this is good. This is great. It's not revolutionary because, like we've said, Microsoft has already been doing this with their Xbox, but it's cool to see PlayStation taking notice of this and not just going, that's a feature, whatever. They pay attention to their fans. I mean, to me, that's what I'm taking out of this. This is something people have been asking for a while. The only thing that PlayStation, specifically Sony, you guys gotta pay attention to his fans about. Listen, see, guys, I'm not just a fanboy. The one thing they gotta pay attention about, I think that it will be coming, but they really gotta get this, is that name change on PSN. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's already. I think you can do it already. If I'm not wrong, I heard some people already try to change their names. So you might.
Well, at the end of this show, guys, I'm gonna try this.
You're gonna give it a whirl.
I will tell you on the next episode what happened.
See how it goes. All right, man. That's what I got, man. Unless you have anything else, I just did a quick check on socials to see if there's anything happening, but it's quiet. But if you don't have anything else, man,
yeah, man, away. Cool, awesome. Guys, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to listen to us here on No Load Time. We really appreciate it, and we want to make sure you stay connected with us. So go ahead and give us a follow on our social media at No Load Time. That's at No Load Time on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch. In addition to that, of course, we always want to make sure you're subscribed to our show so you can hear and watch our latest episodes as they drop. So go ahead and subscribe to us on iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, Spotify, and of course our video version on YouTube. With all that being said, we always welcome your feedback, just as we mentioned even earlier in the show, fans' feedback on Obed's dilemma of trying to figure out what to do with his Joy-Cons and getting grips, It
hurts, man.
So we welcome the feedback, guys. We appreciate it always. So send an email to noloadtime@gmail.com. That's noloadtime@gmail.com. Guys, thank you so much again, and we look forward to seeing you guys on episode 83 of No Load Time.
Thank you guys again, and we'll see you again next week.